What about his bowel movements? Did it re-stimulate? When did you start noticing that he was absorbing food again? Like, because I imagine this
Oh,
happens first, and then
It
the
okay. We did liquid diet for so a long time to get everything filtered out of his gut.
mhm.
So everything that was backlogged, we needed to get it all out. And then we started slowly making sure that the foods that we put into his system were fully cooked so that his body didn't have to work so hard to digest it. Okay.
Yeah, well, it was like
so we
onions and was it
carrots,
tomatoes?
carrots,
but
and
they
celery,
cooked for an
but
hour
they had
and a
been
half.
cooked in the soup. So whatever was in the soup is what we gave to him because it already still had all the nutrition in it, but it was soft enough that it could go in and start helping with the gut lining.
And we would have to, we'd give him something, he'd have a bad reaction, and we'd have to back off. So it's not like, we wanted to stay on the liquid diet
No.
as much as we'd try it, and he would not be able to digest it, and his stomach would get upset. And we're like, okay, we're not ready for that yet. Let's back it off. And even
And being nonverbal, it's a lot of looking, sadly, at the BMs to learn what's going on with your child if they're nonverbal. That is sadly what you become a scientist about your BMs on learning this stuff. Sorry.
No,
it's just if you want to know how you're going to work on your gut and you have a child who can't speak, that's what you're going to be looking at to see how the gut is working and informing and doing.
Well, even as a quote unquote normal person, I didn't figure out my relationship to my food and my gut until I was in my mid-20s. So like,
hey, you got it before us.
I mean, so like that's one of these things where like there's just in our world we don't necessarily think of our food in terms of our energy levels and our digestion and overall health when they're completely linked. They're absolutely one and the same.
Yes.
What we're eating is so important, and we don't figure that out. And there's nothing here in our culture that really tells us that. We're kind of in a world where we eat whatever. If you're sick, well, take a pill. You're sick because you're sick. It has nothing to do with your lifestyle or your diet.
Well, if we go back in history, they used to, grandparents were, there was a saying, if you're sick, eat a bowl of soup.
Mm-hmm.
We got chicken soup when you're sick. It now starts to make sense.
There's a reason that actually worked.
But the healthy, go back when they made it from scratch, where you didn't have all the preservatives to make it.
You boil the chicken.
Yeah.
Yes, you actually
boil the chicken. Yeah.
And the other thing you want in that soup is the collagen.
Collagen
The collagens and the fats. We've gotten to a world where we're scared of that stuff, but really that's the good stuff that is healing the lining of our gut.
Yes, it's all vitamins in there.
Yeah, it was
vitamins.
Just totally amazing how our son's gut lining, the doctors and the results from his test, she's like, he had so many holes in his gut lining that all the bad parasites and stuff were getting into the rest of his body and not going through and getting out of his body.
Mm-hmm.
And so once we started healing up all those holes, then he was able to dump all of that stuff out of his body. And he started growing.
And
he started growing. We had this
true,
child.
Yeah.
He was eating like crazy, but he was thin as could be and white and pale.
Yeah, he was in the 5 percentile on the very bottom.
Yes, and now he is.
And once we healed his gut, and
it was amazing. He just his skin started getting the natural color. He having all that stuff, the collagen and stuff. His skin is beautiful. His nails grow like crazy. His hair grows too fast. He's just healing. It's just been amazing. But to get that nourishment in there, and then he gets to keep that nourishment.
Mm-hmm.
It's been beautiful.
One of the things about a leaky gut, the distinct holes in the gut is the solid food he is eating is then circulated throughout the system, and your body is manually trying to digest through the blood, and that causes inflammation throughout the system.
Yes.
That's the nature of leaky gut. And that's why typically something like gluten and lactose.
Oh, we didn't move enough. Sorry. Oh.
Is there a...
Yeah, there's a sensor
there's
somewhere.
A sensor somewhere.
Right there in the middle.
There you go.
There we go.
We sat still too long.
Yeah, with the leaky gut, it first shows up with lactose and gluten intolerances because those are gigantic food molecules. So when they do circulate into the blood, they cause more inflammation than the other foods. And it's funny because in other times, that's what would have made them such good foods is that there's a long, slow digestion where you get a lot of calories out of them. But with the leaky gut, it just causes tremendous amounts of inflammation. Typically, when people have figured out that they can't eat gluten and they can't eat lactose, there's going to be a lot of other foods coming along down that train track.
Well, you say mentioning that, learning about my son, I learned how my gut was so messed up and how I had the milk intolerance and the gluten intolerance, and how all these years I wondered why I was so sick compared to everybody else. And it's because I have a leaky gut too. It just really.
What amazed me, having watching this, is when he was younger, we of course started with the gluten-free, casein-free diet, and it worked for a while until his whole digestive system shut down. But what would happen was, if he got like half a cracker or a quarter of a cracker or half a cookie,
just a crumb,
almost a crumb, he would be gone for a week.
A month. No, it would be a month to get just that crumb out of his system.
Back. And now,
if he gets it, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, now when he gets it, usually he tolerates it pretty good. If he gets a lot of it, like the other day, then it'll be a couple days,
a day or so. Before it was months to get that one crumb of cookie. I mean, you were always just on a panic about what he was going to get a hold of, and he could see anything.
Oh yeah.
His eyesight is great.
That's only
he was just searching for food, and you find the crumb, and people never understood how serious that was for us. And now he can get that, and it's not the end of the world. I mean, it took us a long time to get that gut to that point, but now it's amazing, and it's just how much he's grown. I mean, and he's still nonverbal, but he's happy. He is lovable, hugs. Not in pain, and sleeping. The most amazing thing, this child will sleep. He's not in pain at night. He can sleep.
If this video or any of the videos I post have piqued your interest in fermented foods, you can obtain any of my products at scottysfoods.com. 4 items gets you free shipping. Thanks, y'all.